Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be going over the Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 ports, but today's video is going to be slightly different. We're going to be going over the zombies mode side of things because in my last two videos I just want to thank you all for the support and the love you've shown on them. I love the interactions in the comments, whether they be with me or you guys are all interacting with each other. I love the enthusiasm and just the overall genuine cautious hype that's been generated by this, because the fact that there is more hype for classic Call of Duty than modern Call of Duty says a lot. But I just wanted to thank you all for the support on the videos, and without wasting any more time, let's get into how zombies will be positively impacted by this instead of just covering the multiplayer side of things, which is what we have done in the last two videos. The reason why I think this will be so beneficial to the zombies community is because they are actually one of the most loyal player bases when it comes to the classic games. They will always be playing, modded Black Ops 3 maps or modded World at War maps. They have the Renaissance mod on Black Ops 2. They always do challenges. They've been one of the most loyal communities when it comes to the old games on Steam and on these modded clients. Even on Plutonium, if you play multiplayer still on Plutonium, you'll know that players come and go, but when it comes to the zombie side of the client, you will consistently have players in the four digits playing that 1,000 players, 2,000 players on the weekend. And so the zombies community has always been one of the most loyal. You always have people talking about multiplayer. How will the multiplayer work when it comes to the ports? But not everybody is really as focused on zombies as I think they should be. Now, when it comes to the actual release of zombies on the ports, it does look like we have zombies as well as all of the DLC content. It remains to be seen that if you just purchase it once, does it unlock all of the content? Or once you purchase the game, will you still have to buy the DLC separately, which will most likely be the case knowing Activision, in order to actually get all of the DLC content, including the zombies maps? The good thing about this is that even though, and I saw this in my comment section yesterday, although some of us do want Call of Duty World at War to be remastered or re-released, the fact that that is the first zombies game with Nacht, Verrückt, Shinonuma, and Doris, they actually have those maps in Black Ops 1. For those who don't know, if you've never played Black Ops 1, they have the first four Call of Duty zombie maps in that game as well. So we will be getting Nacht, Verrückt, Shinonuma, and Doris, most likely from the Black Ops 1 version. So if we won't be getting, gravity pulling zombies and a World War II weapon box, which I know a lot of people in my comment section said yesterday that is something that they want, that's something that we all want. Unfortunately, World at War will not be getting re-released, but we will be getting the World at War maps with the Black Ops 1 DLC, which is a definite positive. That is definitely something that is good to look at. And when it actually comes to Zombies Chronicles, if you don't know what Zombies Chronicles is, that was a Zombies DLC expansion pack made for Call of Duty Black Ops 3 after its release. So we do have some remastered Call of Duty Zombies maps already in the franchise, but there are a set of maps that have not been remastered or re-enhanced or re-released in any type of way, and those maps include Town, Nuketown Zombies, Die Rise, Buried, Mob of the Dead, Call of the Dead, 5, and Transit. Now, every single one of these maps has not been released on a next-gen console from the console that they were released on the Xbox 360. So, unlike the PS4, where Zombies Chronicles can be accessed on Black Ops 3 through PlayStation 4 and you play on the next-gen console, Xbox 360 is the only place where you could play on console and still play Mob of the Dead, Buried, Die Rise, Town, Nuketown Zombies without playing on the PC. So that is a huge plus. This is probably the closest that we'll get to a Zombies Chronicles 2 without actually having them remaster it. And I actually don't want to see a Zombies Chronicles 2 from them because I don't think they would do the game justice. I don't think they would remaster it on a one-to-one scale like Jason Blundell did when he revealed it to JC Backfire. Man, that's crazy that that's going back almost 10 years ago. But when Zombies Chronicles actually released, everybody knew it was going to be a one-to-one scale, but you still had 𝙃𝘼𝐼𝐍𝐿, you still had the Black Ops 3 mechanics affect the playstyle and the actual implementation of the maps, which was really unique to see. But I don't think we're getting that, obviously, because Activision is not remastering, they're porting the game. So the fact that we are getting these experiences exactly the way we remember them is actually a little bit more reassuring, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Let me know how you guys feel about the zombies side of things, because I really do feel like this is not being talked about enough. There is an absolute inevitable chance that the zombies community will be positively impacted by this, and I'm so happy to finally be able to play these maps once again on a next-gen console. My first game was World at War, and when I beat the campaign, I first played zombies, and then I only played zombies, and I unfortunately do regret not playing multiplayer when that game was out in its prime, because they are not going to remaster it, it's not going to be re-released anytime soon, and when I really do think about it, the game was such a good World War II game that the odds of them re-releasing that or remastering that in the current modern gaming climate, it's just too unrealistic. But the actual multiplayer itself, I don't regret not playing it because zombies is where I actually got my first start when it comes to COD. And all I would do is just spend hours and hours and hours on knocked. I would only get to round 15 with a Browning on the top floor and not open the staircase to my right. For those who know that method, you know what I'm talking about. Just camp up there with a ray gun with your boys. But when you got to 𝐷𝑉𝐸, you got to Shino Numa, round 100 with 24 limit zombies. It was fantastic. World at War Zombies was fantastic. The gravity pull from the zombies, it's like you just got sucked into a black hole if they just got even within an inch of you. It's just crazy how difficult the zombies were when you had to move around and go about the map. But World at War Zombies is not something that should be looked over, and that is something that is going to be in the Black Ops 1 DLC, which is something that I'm very glad I'll get to experience again. And coming from a Zombies fan, coming from as someone who really started on zombies and has experienced every zombies mode in their prime, from World at War to Black Ops 3, I do believe the fact that we are going to not only experience the maps again, but actually get to play with each other is going to be huge for the community and just players overall. That's what zombies is about. It's not just about, doing challenges or getting high rounds. It's about you getting into a lobby, maybe with you and your boy or you and three of your boys, and you guys just play a co-op match and you just play the whole night. Maybe some of you get to round 50, round 25, but it's all about just getting on, talking with each other, laughing. Maybe you're trolling each other. Maybe one of you gets trapped by another one in a corner, or you dolphin dive glitch on Kino to get invisible. There are so many different things that can be done. The content, the streams, everything. It can totally reinvent the zombies community on a scale that we have never seen. And let's not forget, there are a bunch of people that played Cold War Zombies for the first time that didn't experience these modes. There are people that are playing Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7 that have not experienced these modes. Once you go back and you actually experience Black Ops 1 Zombies, it's going to be a horror show, literally a shit show. These new Gen COD players are going to see George Romano on the map and ask themselves, who the fuck is this? It's actually going to be crazy seeing people experience these maps for the first time, and it's so exciting. Like I said, the reason why this will be so refreshing is because when Black Ops 3 released those remastered maps, although Nacht, Shinonuma, Verrückt, and 𝐷𝑉𝐸 we had gotten already on the re-release in Black Ops 1, we had not seen Kino, Ascension, Shangri-La, Origins. We had not seen those maps added back in. And now the fact that we're seeing those added back in again, but now we're going to be getting buried for the first time on maybe upscaled resolution and FPS on a console. And now we're going to be getting Die Rise and Mob of the Dead. This is going to be such a relief because the closest thing to Zombies Chronicles 2 will be these maps on console. So when we actually look at it in its entirety, Zombies community gets totally revived. We get the maps that we've been longing and wanting for basically 10 years. And not only that, but the content that we'll get on YouTube, you'll have challenges, you'll have people like Mr. T Lex and Mr. Raffle Waffles and the Smith Plays. They will all come back, and the zombies community will be what it once was again. Some of you might say that this is wishful thinking, but at the end of the day, the zombies player base is in the better position. A lot less things need to go wrong in order for them to be upset. And then when you actually compare the player bases, they have been a lot more consistent when it comes to playing the older games over time. So their expectations, although they need to be met, it's a lot easier to meet them because the zombies maps are not being, messed with. They're not being remastered. There's no actual hidden monetization system in there. It's just probably going to be locked behind a paywall. And that is why zombies players are just in a better position. They don't need to have, these dedicated servers to, protect them from hackers. They could just load into a custom game and play with their friends. So for console, it's a little bit different. You can't really play private match on multiplayer. You can't really, play combat training and have a lot of fun for a long time. But the zombies players, they don't need to go and hit find match in the lobby. All they need to do is just have their friend on PlayStation buy the game, and then they can relive their experience in private match or on solo. So the zombies community is in a much better position, not only when it comes to the release of the actual maps and the player base itself, but when it comes to the actual game, they don't need it to work exactly the way multiplayer does. It's a very distinct game mode that does not require a lot, but you do need to have some sort of, online connectivity. You can't just have these players playing solo. So you do need to have your friends be able to connect in private match. Multiplayer doesn't work like that. You can't play against bots. So that is why the zombies community is in a much better position at the end of the day, in a much better position more than multiplayer. A lot more things have to go right for multiplayer. We're talking about no hackers, no theater, dedicated servers. Is there an FOV slider? Now we're asking for too much if we ask for 120 FPS. It's a little absurd to compare the two, and zombies at the end of the day is just gonna do better. This will be much more beneficial to the zombies community, regardless of how it goes. And it's not because, zombies players are better, and it's not because, I started out on zombies and we all only play it. I like multiplayer. I really do. But it remains to be seen if they can actually capitalize on the multiplayer side of things. If what I'm saying makes sense, they really technically don't need to capitalize on the zombie side of things. It would just be sugar sweet if everything worked the way it would, back then when it comes to, find match and no mods and no hacks in zombies mode. Because it does suck if you're ranking up throughout the zombies progression and then you get into a modded lobby and some guy just sends you to max stats or resets you to level 1 because there are ranks in Black Ops 2 zombies. That is a confirmed thing that there is levels, so you can't really have modders be really interfering with that, which I kind of understand. So it's not totally off the books when it comes to, having a lot of problems or some mistakes here and there. It is just the amount of problems is significantly less than multiplayer. And that's just where I'm at the end of the day. If you're a zombies fan, let me know how you think this is going to go. Are you genuinely excited for this? Multiplayer aside, campaign aside, put that stuff aside. Tell me in the comments below if you're a zombies fan on a scale from 1 to 10, or just say it outright. How excited are you for these maps to come, especially the maps that were not on the Zombies Chronicles expansion pack originally? Because that is the main point, that is the main takeaway for me, is that those maps that were not remastered 10 years ago will be coming to next gen, and that is something that zombies players should, lose sleep over because that is great. I would be excited, like a kid waiting for Mob of the Dead to come out in April, or waiting for Origins to come out in August, or whenever these map packs came out back then. That is the same feeling that I have right now when it comes to the zombie side of things, because I know for a fact that my friends will be playing zombies with me. I know that for a fact. And whether it remains to be seen if multiplayer can, like I said, capitalize on the opportunity to do well, I know for a fact that zombies players will be on this. So let me know on a scale from 1 to 10 how excited you are, or if you are just, cautiously optimistic, just let me know what you think down below because there is a real chance, there is a real opportunity here to return to form. We're talking about Easter egg guides, we're talking about top 10 pack-a-punched weapons, we're talking about best training spots on the maps. These are the videos that can make us return to form when it comes to uploading original Call of Duty style like content, when it comes to zombies, when it comes to Easter eggs and all of this good stuff. And let's not forget, these videos back then when we were actually playing zombies had millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views in its prime. Imagine people experiencing this for the first time, people that just need a little bit of a memory refresh, people that just want to experience it over and over and over again. This can work out quite well for us, and the reason why I do have such high hopes for zombies is because it is such a drastically different mode from multiplayer. The expectations, yes, are there, but the need for things to go right, there's not as many things in zombies than there are in multiplayer. I hate to say it, but it's true. And that's where we're at the end of the day. So just let me know what you think. I am enjoying the videos that I'm making on this. It's very exciting. I love the energy coming out of the community. I haven't seen energy like this in a while. Everybody is just talking, they're asking questions, they're debating. I love it. We need to keep this going. Thank you so much for the support on this video and my last two videos as well. I appreciate it so much. We're going to keep the momentum going. We're going to keep the content going. If I can't upload tomorrow, you'll see a gameplay go up for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.